Bistecca Fiorentina, the queen of Tuscan cooking. One of the best and biggest steaks in the world. In this video, filmed in Italy, we'll show you how to select the ideal meat, how to prepare it for grilling, and finally, how to cook it to perfection. We'll be cooking together a 4-pound Chianina T-bone steak, around 2 inches thick, dry aged for 4 weeks, with a unique tenderness and a phenomenal taste. Let's get started. Let's start by talking about the meat. Traditionally, the Florentine steak comes from the Chianina breed of cattle. If you can't find Chianine, look for Angus. The cut should ideally be from a cow that is between 12 and 24 months old at the time it's butchered. Here's the T-bone. It must be dry aged for at least 2 weeks, but 4 is ideal. And the weight must be at least 3.5 pounds, and with a thickness of at least 2 inches, or about 4 fingers. If the steak is not sufficiently thick, it cannot stand vertically on the bone during the cook time. And as you'll see, cooking the steak vertically is fundamental for a steak of this size. With a cut of meat this good, as for the seasoning, we're only gonna use salt, or rather, salts. Fine salt and coarse salt. Here we have Maldon, a brand of sea salt popular in England. It's a sea salt that comes in flakes. Now that we have selected the right cut of meat for our Florentine steak and our ingredients are assembled, it's time to prepare the charcoal bed for our meat. We'll be cooking this huge porterhouse type steak in an indoor fireplace. And so we're going to only be using the charcoal coming from our hardwood, in this case oak. If you don't have an indoor fireplace, your trusty barbecue equipment will do a good enough job. With the charcoal bed ready, place the grill about 4 inches above the charcoal and let it get good and warm for a few minutes before putting on the steak. The preparation for cooking our steak is super simple. We make a cut about 1/2 inch deep to avoid constricting the steak during the cook time. And if you want to, you can start salting the meat right now. And here we are, ready to bring the steak to the bonfire. Cooking will happen in 3 phases. We'll cook side A, we'll cook side B, and then we'll cook the steak vertically, with the steak sitting on its bone. With a steak like this, about 4 pounds, we'll need around 4 minutes for each of the 3 cooking phases to cook it rare, as it should be cooked. But obviously, cook time will vary from steak to steak. Not just because of the weight, but also because of the differences in dry aging and in general, variations that occur from meat to meat. Your experienced eye can make the final call. Time to add the fine salt. And our coarse salt. The first penetrates the inside of the steak, and the second remains more on the surface to improve the Maillard reaction between the carbohydrates and the proteins of the meat. In short, the coarse salt is fundamental for rendering our steak crispy and with an absolutely irresistible flavor. One side done, we'll cook the other. A bit of fine salt, and coarse salt. Wow, this steak already smells fantastic. It's too bad you're not here to smell it. And now, it's time to move to the final cooking phase. We'll lift our heavyweight steak vertically and cook for another 4 minutes. As we said before, cooking the steak vertically in this way is critical. We put the meat this way to use the bone as a radiator to conduct the heat inside the meat. And here we are. The steak is almost ready. We're going to drizzle a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. A final sprinkle of salt. And we cut it, separating the T-bone from the fillet and the strip. Mmm, so tender. The steak practically cuts itself. This is how it should be prepared. Rare. We finish it off by cutting the steak into pieces and throwing it back on the grill for no more than a half a minute before serving. And as you probably noticed, when we cut it, no blood pours out. This is a sign that the meat was of the highest quality, dry aged properly, and cooked to perfection.
It's a bad romance. It's a bad romance.
And there you have it, the Florentine steak, the queen of Tuscan cuisine. The smell is incredible and mouth-wateringly delicious. To have a true Florentine steak like this is an almost religious experience, which we highly recommend. And of course, you'll want to enjoy it with a fine bottle of Chianti Classico. And buon appetito! Subscribe for more recipes like this from Italy and beyond.